Hello and welcome to Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sara Meadows, and today we're looking at the game Root.
Hello, welcome to the show. Root, a game of Woodland might and right from Leader Games, is a new asymmetrical strategy board game that's on Kickstarter right now. It is well overfunded, and so I'm guessing that this is going to be a pretty huge game next year.
We got a chance to play a rough prototype version, which will look nothing like the final game, but it gave us a good idea of the gameplay and all the mechanics.
Root will come with a main board as well as player reference boards, a lot of cards and meeples, and judging by the illustrations that they have online, it's all going to be a very polished final package.
The theme of the game is based on the hierarchy of forest woodland creatures. They started off with the Eyrie dynasty, and the cats have come in and taken over. And so the birds of prey are trying to gain their dominance. And then we also have a couple other factions that are working their way while there is disrupt going on.
And these woodland creatures are each like their own separate race, and they each have their own totally different player powers and goals, and everything is totally different for each faction.
On their turn, players do take their actions in a similar order. During the birdsong phase, players will take a varied action depending on their faction, and then during the daylight phase, they will use their movements and battle actions. They can also take free actions that can gain victory points during this time. Then
during the final phase, the evening, players take cleanup actions, refilling their supplies, drawing up their hand limit, etc. This video would take like 40 minutes if we explained what every single character's role is in the game, but I think we want to at least give you an idea or a taste of what some of those roles would be like. Tell us, just pick one and kind of walk through some of the gameplay, victory point conditions, etc. for how to play it.
Well, the one that's the most different from the others, the main three players, is the Woodland Alliance. They're kind of like the quiet merry men of Robin Hood behind the scenes.
The foxes.
Yeah, the foxes and the mice and the rabbits trying to work together as a team to take over the other players. You will spend most of your time trying to gain supporters for each of the little races, and then trying to, it's very difficult to get any buildings out on the board.
Traction, it takes a while.
It takes a while to build up supporters for yourself. So you may start off a little behind, but eventually you'll quickly move ahead of the other players.
And on the other side of that table is the like Marquis des Cats, and they kind of start off with dominance on the board, and the way that you're playing with that character throughout the game is that you're trying to build up your sawmills, get lots of wood on the board, cover as much of the board as you can, because that's how you're going to get victory points as the cats.
One player we haven't even mentioned yet is the Vagabond character, and that player is sneaking in the background, stealing cards from players like
He's
raccoon.
The raccoon, yeah.
And there are two more characters that have been unlocked with stretch goals, so it'll be interesting to see what those characters can do.
Yeah, it really will be interesting to see what the final product looks like for this, because the artwork is really cool looking online. Our prototype is really rough, but the artist behind it is fantastic, and everything is kind of coming together. There's lots of cool tokens, lots of cool little elements. The board art looks fantastic. I love the iconography on it. It'll be interesting to see like what kind of organizer it comes with, because there are going to be a lot of different pieces for all the different characters. The fact that there are so many characters really adds a lot of breadth to the game. I've only played like a couple of the characters. I think you've maybe played them all. Mm-hmm. The thing that I found is that like I start to play with it and I really enjoy it, and I want to master it and do it better the next time. That's kind of that ends up being one of the downsides to the game, is that there is some downtime, especially as you're learning to play the game, because you can't really like help people know what to do on their turn, because you may not even know how they play, because everybody's role is so different and everybody's kind of just learning it and figuring it out as they go. So trying to teach it is going to be a little bit tougher. Trying to learn it is going to be a little bit broader. But I think once you do get into that, then you're going to fall into those places where this guy loves this character and this guy loves this character, and they just duke it out trying to prove that their faction is the best one or whatever.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some good tournaments that come out of this game, because each character is deep, and even though I've played them all, I've barely scratched the surface of what they can do, and so I'm really looking forward to getting more plays in of this game. If this sounds like something you are interested in, check out Root on Kickstarter now.